Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to the latest episode of the Hard Compound Live. For those of you who don't know, my name's Rich and I run and operate the Hard Compound. We're a one-stop shop for all things motorsport, and we can be found on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter primarily, and these videos can also be found on YouTube. Excuse me. So yes, do give us a search for the Hard Compound on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and YouTube. Come and join in the fun. We're here to share a love of motorsport, nothing else, no controversy, no nonsense, no bad mouthing anyone. And we cover all forms of motorsport, from F1 to IndyCar to NASCAR to World Endurance Challenge, World Endurance Championship, World Endurance Championship, supercars, bikes, rallying, and anything else that we can shake a stick at. And we do that in the form of 3 written articles every day. Generally, these go out about 9 o'clock in the morning in the UK, 2 p.m. and about 8:30 p.m. And they take the form of race reviews, race previews, throwbacks, birthdays, breaking news, favourite liveries, and anything else that's going on in the world of motorsport, as I say. So come along and join in the fun. We'd love to have you on board. In case you hadn't noticed, we also do live video interviews just like this one. And just like this one, these are streamed on our YouTube, our Facebook and our Twitter only. They're automatically saved in the video section on Facebook and in the live section on YouTube. So again, come along, join in the fun. I'm not going to name all the guests that we've had on. We've had over 190 of them, which is amazing. We're rapidly approaching the 200. But we've had some great guests on in the past. Everyone from Mr. Mario Andretti, Mr. Chip Ganassi, right through to Emanuele Pirro and Derek Warwick, Stefan Johansson, Alex Caffey, touring car drivers such as Ivan Muller, Gabriele Tarquini, Fabrizio Giovanardi. We've had like Le Mans winners, young racers who are just starting their journey on the British touring car package, people that have won Le Mans and raced in GT racing and sports cars and have won at Sebring and Daytona. Guys recently we've spoken with Mr. Oliver Gavin and guys like Nick Yaloli. We had Gordon Shedden from the touring cars, many others. You get the idea. But today we are talking IndyCar and a lot about the Indy 500 with our guest this evening. We've spoken with guys that have won that in the past, guys like Ari Lowendijk and Danny Sullivan, Alonso Jr., Will Power, Alex Palou, and many others, guys like Vincent James and people like that who have been on for a chat. But tonight we've got something a bit different. We've got a guy who's come into motorsport. Well, he was a motorsport fan, and now a little later than perhaps planned or hoped, he has joined the motorsport world with a vengeance. He is the boss, founder of Cusick Motorsports, and he's raced his team have helped race in the Indy 500 for the last 5 runnings and done a bit of IMSA as well. It's a great story we're going to hear. I'm looking forward to it, so we're going to bring him in right now because I've been rattling on for 3 minutes. Please join me in extending a very warm welcome to Mr. Don Cusick.
Hi, Rich. How are you?
I'm very well, very well. How's things out there in LA?
Yeah, typical, like you'd expect. Looking forward to actually getting out of here and up to Laguna Seca tomorrow. But yeah, all is well.
Excellent. No, that's good. Very pleased to hear that. Firstly, thank you very much for coming on and doing this. Anyone who's tuned into these chats will know that I always shoehorn IndyCar and the Indy 500 into them somewhere, even if it's not relevant. And you've done a lot of both in the last few years. So I'm very glad that we can come on and talk about it. So thank you for giving up some of your time. I'm very grateful.
I appreciate you having me on board.
Fantastic. Great stuff. Right, just before we get into everything, I just want to say hello to some folks in the comments. There's well over, there's approaching 100 of you tuning in already. That's very nice. Hello to Kathy Ewing and to Ken Anderson and to all the others that are tuning in on Facebook and YouTube. Looks like all the technology is working, which is great. If you have any comments or questions, pop them into the comment section on your chosen platform and we will work them in as best we can. And there's already some nice words coming in for Don already, so that's very nice to see. So yes, guys, do get involved if you so wish. Right, that's the housekeeping done. Let's just deal with the present very quickly. Don, you said you're going to be heading off to Laguna Seca. It's been a good IndyCar season, hasn't it? With one standout driver, particularly.
Boy, yeah, I'll tell you what. Talk about domination, huh?
He's mighty impressive, isn't he, Mr. Palou?
Indeed, he is. I wish he moved to Formula One, to be quite honest.
I think a lot of us would like to see that.
Yeah, it'd be good.
For sort of two reasons, wouldn't it? Just so someone else can have a chance.
Yeah, yeah. He's
In the
been
car.
dominant. It's fun to watch, though. He's just outstanding.
It's just he's metronomic. He's like Scott Dixon was years ago. Well, still is. Just yeah, very cool. But yes, off to Laguna Seca this weekend, which
Right?
is going to be great because it's a fantastic part of the world, isn't it? And it's not far
It
from where
is.
we
Yeah, yeah. It's a great race. When it used to be the season ender, that it was really fun. Although most years it was already decided by the time we got there.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
and I think it probably pretty much is right now too. But Pato's making a run at him. I think he's only down 93 points right now.
yeah. We're down to double figures, which is
Yeah, right.
which is kind of crazy to think that's a good thing, but it just shows
Yeah,
what Alex has done this year. But yeah, not over yet. We never know.
yeah,
And we got Keith Mail in the comments who's saying that Palo for Cadillac would be awesome. Yes, it would. I would be
yeah,
right behind that. Mm.
yep.
So, but no, good. Yes, looking forward to that race this weekend, and it's on at 8 o'clock at night here, so I'll be able to watch it in peace, which is nice. So, no, great stuff. Obviously, hope.
We'll bring you some good weather for the race. How's that?
Oh, that'd be lovely. That would be nice, and I'll get there one day.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how we go. Also, while we're on the subject of IndyCar, obviously, we should say a couple of weeks ago, one of the teams, Marshank Racing, ran a tribute to Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath, and obviously we lost Ozzy yesterday. I'm a big fan of heavy metal, and if anyone else out there is, we need to give a big thumbs up and thank you to Ozzy. What a great guy! Yes,
Yeah.
amazing.
Sad to lose an icon.
Absolutely. There's going to be some loud music on after this. So yeah, great stuff, and it's great to see him and Black Sabbath in IndyCar as well, which is great. Right, that's the present dealt with. More love for Polo in F1. Yes, right. That's the present dealt with. What I'd like to do is get on with your story, Don, because that's why we're here. And it's a lovely story. I absolutely love it. From the bits and pieces that I know. I'd like to go right back to the start. I mean, where did your interest in motorsport come from?
Oh wow. My first memory, my first exposure, I hate to even say this, but was 1964 at the NHRA Winter Nationals in Pomona, which was kind of local to where we lived at the time. And I don't know, just standing there and smelling the nitro and the methanol and at that time the castor oil, and watching them try to break 7 seconds in a quarter mile. I don't just got inside me. So that's kind of where it all started. And then back in those days, the Indy 500 was either on closed circuit TV or you watched it on Wide World of Sports a week later on ABC. So we used to go to the closed circuit and watch it. I guess of those days, my earliest memory was one year there was 32 front engine roadsters and 1 rear engine, and that was Jimmy Clark. And the next year it was quite the opposite. There was 32 rear engine and 1 front engine roadster. And so that's how far back I go. But
Wow.
Yeah, I've been a fan for, oh boy, all those years, 60 some odd years now.
Wow. I love that. It's fantastic. And I'm glad you mentioned the Indy 500. And as I said off air, anyone who's ever tuned into these things, no, I always get the Indy 500 in somehow, because like you, it got under my skin. It's just, there's something about it, isn't there? And I guess I don't know what the general perception of it is over in the States, but for IndyCar fans in the UK, it's otherworldly. It's like, it's the impossible thing that you're not going to get to. And there's something about that, and it gets under your skin, and it obviously did for you, didn't it?
Well, yeah. They say it's the greatest spectacle in racing. They're not lying. It's unbelievable to be there in person, but it took me, 60 some odd years to get there live.
Yeah.
But man, I'll never forget the day I first walked in there. What a place.
Yeah, I'll bet. And obviously in the capacity in which you did it as well, which we're going to
That was
come
fun
to.
too, but
That's
yeah,
that's a pretty good first time.
yeah, I guess, yeah. Kind of ruined it for all the rest of it, though. It was like, okay, well, now we have to do this every year, otherwise we're not coming back. So
yeah, sure. Which we'll obviously come to that. There was a question actually right at the very start, which ties in actually with where we are with the chat. It was from on YouTube, a person whose name is KB. I don't know what your real name is, but thank you for your message. He says, have you ever driven race cars? And I was going to ask, did you go racing when you were younger?
Oh yeah. Well, so the funny story is KB is actually one of my oldest friends, Kelly
Okay.
Brown, and he knows well that we went racing because he used to go with me. But yeah, I started racing quarter midgets when I was 12 years old.
Wow.
And did that for I don't know, until I was 16 and aged out of that, and then ran a half midget and a 3/4 midget and a modified midget, and eventually the lack of talent and money intersected, and that was kind of the end of my racing career. Did a brief stint in go-karts when I was around, I don't know, 45 or 50 years old, and
wow,
that just, I don't know, just didn't work for me. All the younger guys were blowing my doors off, and so it wasn't as much fun as you might imagine. But yeah, so that was kind of it until we joined Thermal in April of 2020, and since then, we race the sports cars and things like that. So so that's been fun. I was an oval guy for all those years, and so to get out on a road course was quite a different experience.
Yeah, sure.
But now I love it. So shout out to Kelly. I've known him since I think we were both 11 or 12 years old.
Oh, fantastic! Well, hi, Kay. Thank you for tuning in. That's great. And I mean, just for the Brits tuning in, obviously we've spoken to a couple of racers who have raced in the quarter midgets and the is it the bandoleros, the little cars that you can do as well.
Yeah,
This is like short. This is short oval, high octane. It's great stuff, and I wish we had it over here.
Great fun.
Yeah, great stuff. So obviously, there was always kind of the wish to be a racing driver. Obviously, it didn't quite come together.
That was always the dream, is to be an IndyCar driver.
Yeah. No, I'm sure it's been mine as well. Hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, good one.
We'll see. Maybe one day, if anyone's silly enough. But so obviously, you went down a different route. I mean, obviously, from that. From the end of the racing career to getting back into it properly, there was quite a gap in between. I hope you don't mind me saying. You went down.
That's a fact.
Okay, I didn't want that to come out wrong. You went into the business world, which I'd like to sort of touch on. How did you? I mean, I've tried to do a bit of research here, but I know that you went into the business world and set up companies and stuff. Did you feel like you naturally took to that, or was it a bit of a slog to begin with?
I've led a pretty blessed and charmed life, and a lot of it was just being in the right place at the right time. But the whole medical radiation protection business was nothing that was planned. It was, I actually worked at my dad and my brother had an aircraft interior shop, and out of high school, I went there to work with a lack of any other idea of what I wanted to do. And I learned how to sew on the big heavy duty Singer 111W machines that could sew leather and, all that stuff. And at that time, I had a friend that was working in an x-ray department at the local hospital, and they used to bring me their lead aprons to sew back together because they always fell apart.
Right.
So literally worked in the aircraft interior shop from 6:30 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon. And then from 2 in the afternoon until I couldn't stand it anymore, worked repairing these lead aprons for all the local and community hospitals.
Wow.
And really one thing just led to another. And I guess the biggest boon was when they started doing cath lab procedures on the heart, non-invasive heart stuff. And that was super high dose radiation. And we developed a lighter weight apron and a more comfortable apron, and kind of just built a better mousetrap, to be candid. So, no great ideas, no great brainstorms, really. Just took a product that existed for 50 years and made it better, and grew the company to the point where we sold it in April of 2020 for enough money that I could go race at Indy. So that was good.
Wow. I mean, there's lots of different ways to get into motorsport, and I love that. That's the most sort of unorthodox route, I think. It obviously, because obviously what you were doing there was no link to motorsport. There was no contact within the industry, was there? Anything like that?
Although, in the later years when the business was, more successful, I looked around to try to get involved in IndyCar and become a sponsor, and I couldn't really find out how to do that. And so that was kind of frustrating for me. And as a result of that, ended up thinking, gee, well, once I got into IndyCar, I should spread this around to people and let them know you can get involved and it's not that expensive, and you can have a lot of great experiences. And so that's kind of what we patterned the whole Cusick Motorsports model after now.
It was kind of the I saw it making motorsport accessible for everyone, wasn't it? In whichever capacity,
and making them feel like they're really a part of something and not just a sticker on the side of the car.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's sort of much more than what you see on the side of the car, as you say, and I sort of love how that kind of started what you're doing now. And there's a couple of comments that have come in actually. People who you may well know on YouTube. We've got Mark Vukovic and we have got Ken Anderson. Both guys have said thanks for having Don on. He's a great ambassador for the sport. No one more passionate. And Mark has said that Don is the owner for the people. No owner cares more about our fan base, which is lovely.
Hi guys.
Which is
quite
lovely.
Kind of a funny story. I met Mark Vukovic at Southern Highlands Golf Course. He actually caddied for us, and turns out that he is of the bloodline of the Vukovic family.
I was going to say,
he gave me a little lucky charm that I still carry with me. It's been lucky the last 2 years. Well, sort of. I mean, we've run better for sure. I guess you could debate how lucky things were for us last year, but anyway,
it was close.
That's how I know Mark. And then Ken Anderson's a part of Elite IndyCar, and we became good friends through that. So.
Fantastic.
Yeah, two good guys. Hi guys.
Yeah,
thanks for being on board.
Yeah, thanks guys. Thank you for tuning in and for the comments as well. And it's lovely that obviously they know you, and that's how you're passionate and how you do things. That's how it comes across, and that's great because obviously that's what you wanted to bring, to motorsport.
It's absolutely the best part.
Absolutely, yeah. This is great. And what I'm always fascinated by is people who set up a team or start a team or take over it or do something or make a transition within motorsport. And you did that. You transitioned from what you were doing with the company that you set up and everything like that into the world of motorsport. And this is the bit that I'm really interested in. Before we get to the 500, because from what I can gather, you sold the company off. Was it 2020? You stuck around for a bit and then retired, in inverted commas. How did it come to be that you went from doing what you were doing to being out at Thermal and looking at a car to take out on track?
So my lovely bride of just recently 44 years,
wow,
said to me, okay, you've sold the company, you love racing, we have friends out at Thermal, we've been out there 4 or 5 times, we're going to go join Thermal. And I said, no, that's way out of my league. It's too expensive. No. She said, yeah, well, that's what we're going to do. Wow. So, when the wife endorses it, you're pretty good, So we went out there and we bought a house, and I bought a couple of cars and I put them in the garage, and I tried to learn how to drive them. And so we kind of went through that for a little bit. And then I thought, I really want to have something different, something that's not, a sports car. I want to have a different kind of car. So I searched high and low, and I ran across Cusick Motorsports had just started a program called Track Attack, and they bought up a bunch of Gen 6 NASCARs when the Gen 7s came out, and they refurbished them all, put a crate 650 Z06 650 horsepower Z06 crate motor that Ilmore had done a little bit of work on, pretty pure race car. So I bought one, and they brought it out to Thermal, and Jeff Gordon showed up, and they brought the Hendrick transporter. And I mean, it was just an amazing day. And
must have been so surreal.
Yeah. Oh, it was Yeah, believe me, it was surreal.
Wow.
I crawled into that thing, which is not an easy task for an old guy like me, through the window. But that's a whole other story. But anyway, they fit the seat, and Jeff was there, and he's talking to me, and then I went out on the track and did a lead follow with him, and yeah, it was pretty amazing day, I can tell you. But as a result of that, I became good friends with the whole Hendrick organization and Jeff, and kind of was somewhat instrumental in getting Kyle Larson in with McLaren, because as it turns out, Mike Long, who is the Arrow of Arrow McLaren, was also a member at Thermal. So all these kind of dots connected. So it was fun. But anyway, a bunch of people bought those, and we ended up having a race series with them, and so that's how that all started. But the point of that whole thing being that one of the driving instructors out at Thermal knew Stephen Wilson and said, I know this IndyCar driver, and he's thinking about maybe jumping into NASCAR. He might have an opportunity. Could he come out and hot lap your car? And I said, yeah, sure, absolutely. I didn't know who Stephen Wilson is, didn't know the connection with Justin, didn't know any of it at that time. But Stephen came out and just was a great guy. And then I made the very costly mistake of asking him if he had any connections in IndyCar and how I might get out there, because I'd never been to the 500 and I really wanted to see it. And of course, his answer was, you can sponsor me. So I said, sure. Next thing you know, I'm standing in the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the Andretti garage with my name on the car and a few of our friends. And yeah, that's how the whole thing happened.
That's incredible.
And again, fortunately, my wife loved it, so she wanted to come back and do it again. So yeah, that's really how it all happened.
And I mean, from what I can gather from the research that I've done, the time scale from kind of getting to Thermal to being at the 500 was what, a year, less than?
Yeah, just slightly over a year, because we joined Thermal in April of 2020 and we ran with Andretti in May of 2021. So it was pretty quick.
So you've gone from being a motorsport fan who's just sold his business to rubbing shoulders with Jeff Gordon and Hendrick Motorsport, and then all of a sudden, I mean, at any point in that, I don't know, that kind of 6-9 month window, did you think, what the heck is going on here?
Hey, Rich, every single day. I still think that. It's amazing to me, but it's fun and it's great. And the one thing I always knew about racing from a young age was that it's a very gracious and close-knit community. And wildly, that turns out to be true even at the highest level.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's on a far tinier scale with me just talking to people through a screen, but I've found that, everyone sort of is just in because they love motorsport and they want to help people out and do whatever they can. And
at the end of the day, we're, like we talked about, we're all just fans, right? And so
absolutely.
For me, that's what it's all about. I'm just I don't think the smile ever leaves my face the entire month of May.
Oh, man, I love that. Because you're still a fan first and foremost, aren't you? And that's why
100%. Listen, I'm a fanboy, and we've had Pato out to Thermal. He's driven some of my cars, but I'll be standing on the pit wall. Graham Rahal will walk by and stop and talk to me, and it's just amazing. But they'll talk to everybody. Santino, all those guys. They're wonderful, wonderful ambassadors and really great people. I haven't met anybody there that hasn't been extremely gracious.
Yeah, that's good too. I mean, I'm not going to bring it back to my experience. We'll come to 2022 Indy 500, but I was there as well, and I had the exact same thing.
Yeah,
you can just go and talk to people; they'll come and talk to you, and it's from like racers to team bosses to other fans, and it's all one big, generally happy family, which is great. Which is good to hear. And what I quite like doing a little bit of a deeper dig here. I mean, from a fan from the outside, who's not that business minded or anything like that. From you saying, okay, Mr. Wilson, I'll sponsor you, to getting involved with Andretti, one of the biggest sort of names in North America, well, probably motorsport. as a whole. How did it come to be that you got people involved? And I mean, I guess, I mean, did you have any contacts back in the in your previous life that you were able to call on or try and steer, or how did it all come together from a little off the cuff remark, sponsor me, to being there?
Well, so yeah, a few things. Obviously, Stefan had connections through Justin and previous interaction with Andretti, and then of course the infamous Anders Krohn, who many of you might know. He did radio, in fact, this year at the 500. But Anders was an Indy Next guy and involved in broadcasting, and then a partner in Coforce. So these guys, they had all the connections and were really kind enough to put me in touch with all of them and really make the whole thing happen. And Anders is still involved with us to this day. So again, it was just great people and a willingness on their part to connect us all. That's really how it happened. Through the Andretti connection, we met Alex Moeller, who we're good friends with to this day. I talk to Alex frequently, and Alex is the partnership guy for Andretti. So, it seems like to me, once you meet these guys, you stay friends with them. I mean, they're just good people.
Yeah, this is great, and obviously that kind of shows with what's happened in the years since. I just want to say, just before we get into, excuse me, just before we get into the Indy 500, because we could be here all day, but it should be said that like what you do with like Cusick Motorsport, you're not the kind of like the racecraft engineering type side of things. You do a lot of the commercial aspect, the business to business in interactions and sponsorship and all that. Was that the what's that right? I guess like the principal goal of setting up Cusick Motorsport, was that kind of where you wanted it to begin?
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the B2B stuff and the business stuff, it's necessary. I mean, that's how we create partnerships and fund this stuff. In more recent years, in the beginning, it was pretty much funded by me and companies that I had ownership in. But yeah, so really, I think a big part of it for me is connecting the fans and making the fans feel a part of what we're doing, a part of the team. And that's what we try to do. We try to create fans, not only just general fans, but also people that run businesses that might not have otherwise known that this whole world exists out there.
Yeah.
And really how much fun it is and how many great people you can meet and what you can create from those relationships. And I think we've been pretty successful at doing stuff like that. It's fun. It's just connecting people to people.
Yeah, and sort of seeing, and like seeing where it might lead and what they can do and what you can do for them and with them and all that, which is fantastic. I think that's, I think we need more people like that in motorsport.
Yeah, I never wanted to be,
Well.
like I said, just a sticker on a car and a handshake in the garage at the race. I've developed some really terrific friendships and partnerships out of all of this, and that's super fulfilling for me and hopefully for all the other people that we come in contact with as well. That's the goal.
Yeah, which is terrific, and I've seen just from looking at the website and a bit of research that you do provide, race weekend experiences and race day experiences, meet the drivers and engagement, all that kind of stuff. Which again, as you say, that is all part of the more than just a sticker on a car.
Yeah.
And that's what people are going to remember, and it's what they're going to come back for and hopefully grow from as well, isn't it?
Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, it seems to be working. It seems to be going rather well.
So far, so good. We'll see.
Yeah, I think the more people that can get involved with motorsport, with IndyCar, with Indy 500, and everything else, the better, because it can only help people outside the sport and people within it as well. It can only be positive both ways, can't it? So,
yeah, totally agree.
Which is great. Right. Oh, hey, well, we've just got here a comment from Keith Mail. Good evening, Keith. Said, imagine if F1 did that, actually involved the fans. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yes, rather than forming a cordon a mile long
Yeah.
and keeping
Like
everyone
the
out.
same access that a Formula One as you can get at IndyCar. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely. I'll take IndyCar every time. Thank you. Which, as a European, could be considered blasphemy, but I stick by it. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Right. We've got to talk about the Indy 500 because I love it. You love it. Everyone who's ever been there loves it. You said that you'd never been. Some chap called Stefan managed to get you in, and you got on board with him. It must have been so exciting, going to the 500 for the first time, and also in the capacity of having linked up with Andretti and kind of like co-running a car in the greatest spectacle in racing. You must have been absolutely buzzing when you were going there. You must have been thrilled to bits.
My memory of it was just try to stay in the moment because it is that surreal.
Yeah.
I mean, I still get goosebumps every time I think about stepping into the Indy 500. But it was a rainy day. It was 6 a.m. I met Anders at the ticket office. I just remember standing there looking at this, and it's huge. It's you just can't even begin to imagine how big the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is. Even though we flew over it, and I was pressing my nose and trying to take pictures of it as we flew in, but yeah, the immensity and the enormity and the history, it was just incredible. And yeah, I just tried to soak it all in and really try to stay in the moment. But being Canada, don't have a lot of memories of the whole thing. It was just kind of like, whoa, this is overwhelming. And then year two, I kind of knew what to expect a little more. Year one was go in for the COVID test every day and, wear the mask and, all of that. So it kind of took away from it a little bit. But by year two, I kind of knew my way around a little bit more. And then, it was easier to stay in the moment.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. And I totally get, I mean, people can see the shirt I'm wearing here from the Indianapolis.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad that you felt the same because I got there and we had a hire car and we drove down from Chicago into Indianapolis on the day for Carb Day. And my friends all will back this up. I cried.
Yeah,
It was the entry with the flags on the grandstand. We saw because we came in from the southwest. We kind of swung round and in the southwest corner, and we saw the flags on the grandstand. And I just went, "Oh my god, there it is!" And when I got there, I parked the car up and I cried.
I get it. It evokes that memory every time. I mean, I'm not afraid to admit that. Well, Anders and I, the years we run together, standing on pit lane when they first fire the car up and send it out, we get tears in our eyes, and every single time, pre-grid before the race. But everybody is. I've brought people out there, and I look over, and the tears. It's just I don't know. I guess maybe it's passion, maybe it's just realization that you're one of a very few people that are standing there at that moment in time. Yeah. But yeah, it gets me every time. Every time.
Which is great. And Mark Vukovic has just said the same thing. Me too, when I entered for the first time. Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know why. I can't really explain it. I mean, but you know what? I cry at weddings and on sad movies when a dog gets hurt too. But that aside, it's the only racetrack that ever brings that kind of emotion. It's wild.
Yeah, there's something in the air, isn't there? It's
yeah. I've been to a lot of different racetracks, and that one gets me every time.
Yeah, it's almost tangible. It's an incredible thing. I'm smiling just thinking back about it, and that's 3 years ago.
Good stuff.
I just want to have a bit of a dig into each of the races and how you felt about it. I mean, you said it was a bit of a blur and a bit overwhelming and stuff. I mean, I can get on board with that from the fans' perspective, sitting on the outside of turn 4 on race day, which is very, very cool. But I mean, especially on No, we'll just step back actually to qualifying actually, because Stefan qualified 28th that year. I think he put it 28th in the first year. I mean, were you just happy to avoid bump day? I mean, not to set a low bar or anything like that,
Always,
but
always happy to avoid bump. Yes,
yeah.
yes. I'm trying to remember. I don't think there was. I think there was only 33 cars in 21. In
It may have been. Oh yeah,
22,
sorry, it may have been the next year was bump. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. In 22, I think same, and then in 23 and on, it was bump. We've always, it's. I don't know why, but we've always struggled a little bit in qualifying. I
yeah,
mean, in 24, we did pretty well with Ryan Hunter-Ray made the fast 12,
yeah.
made some adjustments and went the wrong way, and he ended up 12th. Connor had the plenum issue. He had plenty of speed. He probably would have been top 12 too in the second car. But we had that Chevy plenum issue on the last turn of the last lap, and
Yeah.
that cost us. So fairly familiar. We're starting at the back of the pack, but in 24 and 25, we moved up pretty quick. Actually led the race on an alternate strategy with Connor,
Yeah.
and yeah, we all know the story about last year.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I will come to that. I must
Yeah,
admit,
yeah, but
I probably
qualifying is super fun. I mean,
it's
that
great.
it's a lot of pressure, I think. But I generally the last 3 years have sat on the pit wall and usually with my friend Mike from McLaren, and have fun ribbing each other about who's going to go and who's going to end up where. But I like qualifying weekend. That's a fun weekend.
Oh, it's great. I still love sitting watching it here as well, and make sure that I'm in the room on my own with a beer. Leave me alone.
Yeah,
Indy 500 quali's on. It's
I just want to watch this. Yeah.
yeah, and the speeds are incredible.
Oh, jeez.
Obviously
Yeah.
you'd seen it on the TV, but being there first time qualifying, seeing it in the flesh, that must have been something else. Because the speed, you can't describe it when they come past. You can barely move your head fast enough.
No,
It's it's astonishing, isn't it?
it's wild. It's wild, especially when you're at the end of the main straight, which is where we are during qualifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, and there's never any lack of drama. I mean, just think of last year when Schwartzman popped
Oh,
off those 4 laps. I mean, everybody's like, "Wait, what?" But it was awesome. I mean,
it's like, where's this
and,
guy
and
come from?
everybody loved it. Even you know, everybody in the pits were just so happy for them and that they did that. It was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah. Just to sort of button up, just to go back a bit to that first year. Obviously, unfortunately, Stefan only lasted, was it 34, 35 laps in that first
Yeah,
year. I think he had contact with someone, didn't he? And then he'd hit the wall, and that was it. He was out. But obviously
yeah. I think he had
disappointing.
he
But
had a pit lane incident.
he came in, didn't he, into the pit? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
hit the outside pit wall and
That's it.
damaged the car.
Oh,
Yeah,
it must be so disappointing. It must have been, obviously great to be there in the capacity that you were, but for it to end
yeah. I mean, it was
so
super
soon.
disappointing, but again, if you're there as a fan, then you're there as a fan, and the personal aspect of it with regard to Stefan, I was gutted for him,
Yeah.
but I still enjoyed the hell out of the race. I mean, it was a
I'll
great
bet.
race,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah, ups and downs.
Yeah, absolutely right. Just to sort of hop on to 2022, the year I went, fantastic. It still makes me smile. You linked up with Dragon Speed and another legendary name, AJ Foyt Racing. Probably the legendary name, AJ Foyt. Again, how did all that come together? Was it a similar situation with the Andretti thing, with contacting people you knew and networking?
Sort of. That happened very, very late
Right.
again, and we weren't sure we were going to get in the show. And factually, they only ended up with 32 entries that year, and they needed a 33rd. And Jay Fry at that time and Doug Bowles and the crew out at IndyCar, Roger, they helped us put together that very last minute entry.
Right.
We were able to get Dragon Speed on board to work on the car. and Foyt was kind enough to provide a spare car, and they helped us a little bit with the budget so we could do it.
Oh, fantastic.
But that was a very late entry, and then they actually switched second and third gear in the gear stack, and that's why the engine blew.
Right.
And
Okay.
of course, we didn't get a qualifying time. And I guess the funny anecdote about that is Art Lasky Jr.'s brother was the one that made the mistake on the gearbox. Sorry, but they were very apologetic. But I actually raced quarter midgets with those guys, so there was that connection from way back when. But anyway, as it turned out, we didn't get a qualifying run in, but we ran the car and we finished the race, and it was fairly uneventful, but still fun. I mean, we were there, and it kept the continuity of 2 years in a row, which of course then led to our connection with Dennis and Brett and DRR. So yeah, it was good. It was good. One thing always leads to another, as it were, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and obviously, as like me and my three buddies were there, and we were obviously, everyone's got their favourites, but we were cheering on the Brits, so we were right behind Stefan all the way. It was great. Every time we came past,
such a good guy.
We actually said that we should have got a Union Jack flag and given it, but
that'd have been awesome.
Yeah, big flag. I'm not sure how many of our American friends next to us would have held it, but you never know.
Well, if they're real race fans, they would get it.
Yeah, they would have done. They would have.
Yeah, Stefan was great to work with. Fan favorite and a stand-up guy. I really enjoyed the 3 years that we ran together with Stefan.
Yeah, which is fantastic. And obviously, I believe, excuse me, first of which was actually when you mentioned the guys at DRR, Andrea and Reinbold Racing. Again, they kind of do what you do. They obviously run full seasons in the past, and they won their first ever race, didn't they, in IndyCar? I remember that. Yeah. But they, like you, they kind of like focus on the 500, and that's their race for the year. I mean, was it a natural thing to kind of align with those guys and maybe approach them or just get involved with them?
Yeah, I think that it was. I think that it made sense for everybody. Gosh, I can't say enough good things about those guys. They're just fantastic. I love the crew. I love Dennis, Brett, Chase. Everybody there has been so fantastic with us, so welcoming. So willing to make us a part of the team and list us as co-owners, and that all means a lot. Getting your name on the pit wall and generating a lot of the press and publicity like that helped us do. It helps with sponsors. It helps with credibility. So I'll be forever grateful to those guys. And like I said, we still remain friends with everybody there to this day. And it'll always be a special bond. I don't know what 2026 is going to bring. They're looking at their options, and they have not made any commitments yet.
Okay.
So, not letting any cat out of the bag, I don't think, but I'm just not sure what will happen in 2026.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Cusick Motorsports is fairly committed to coming back and running, but just not sure with who yet. Remains to be seen.
Yeah, well, I have my fingers crossed you guys will be back.
We'll be back somewhere. We'll see what those guys want to do. We love being with them. We really do. They're truly a family, and have made us feel a part of that family. So, we'll see.
Yeah, great stuff. Fingers crossed, as I say. I mean, obviously for that first year that you ran with them, 23. I mean, I guess you had a couple of experience with the 500. They'd done it plenty of times. They knew what they were doing. I mean, and they obviously, they kind of build the car for the 500 and get it all set up and all ready, which is great. And I mean, did you feel not more confident, but did you have like a good feeling going into 23 because of how they do it?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, that was really, I think, the first true Indy experience because we had so much run-up time. I mean, I think
Yes.
we made the announcement in November
Right. Yeah.
that we
Yeah.
were going to run with them, and so yeah, we were much more settled, and I felt great about it. I mean, Dennis said to me and to everybody, and has always maintained, he's there for one reason and one reason only, and that's to win the race. And as unlikely as it probably is that a one-off would win at Indy because so many factors,
Yeah. Yeah.
those cars come off the trailer ready to run and ready to win,
Wow.
and so it's been fantastic to be a part of that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then obviously everybody knows what happened in 23. We got run up on, put through the wall.
Yeah. I was gonna come
That's
to
probably the
that.
longest I've ever held my breath.
Yeah.
The silence when that happened,
Is
you
that
could
on
feel that in your
on the
soul.
radio?
Just the entire motor speedway just went silent when
Wow.
he got put in the wall before they got him out of the car.
Mm.
That was
Wow.
a terrible moment.
Yeah.
And I think unbeknownst to a lot of people at the time, but his wife Katie had just found out she was pregnant. And so, going to the medical tent and seeing him was actually a good thing. He didn't want to admit how bad his back hurt, but he knew at that point his race was over.
Yeah. He
And
was
of course,
gonna.
what a crazy thing that was, then getting Graham Rahal into the car and
Yeah. I mean,
on the
that was
Chevy thing. And
because
boy, oh boy.
it was a couple of tough days for everyone watching. I mean, we know what IndyCar and 500 means to the Rahal family, and obviously we saw. I mean, Graham just couldn't get it together in qualifying, and he got bumped, and it was a huge surprise. And there was that moment with his family, and everyone felt for him. It was heartbreaking to watch. And then obviously what happened with Stefan with what you just said there.
Yeah.
After he got hit by Catherine Legg.
He did indeed.
It was a tough 2 days emotion wise, I think, for everyone watching.
Man.
But obviously for you guys inside the ropes with Stefan, it was obviously much more difficult. I wasn't aware of what the situation with his wife and everything being pregnant, but it kind of, there was the happiest of possible outcomes with Graham getting in the car. I mean, when that was announced, I think everyone who heard that news was just so happy that it was happening. I mean, how did it all come together? Was there just a conversation between the two teams?
For real, honestly. I remember sitting in Dennis's bus with Brett and Dennis, and they asked me what I thought, and I said, well, I think it'd be fantastic, and again, to the point about how racers all stick together thick and thin. I mean, the concept of having a Honda driver jump in a Chevy, I mean, the whole thing, it was crazy, but I mean, candidly, hats off to Dennis and Brett. They negotiated that whole thing. They talked to Chevy, they talked to Honda, they talked to Bobby and Graham. They made it happen. And I was along for the ride, and they were very kind to include me in it. And we talked to our sponsors and asked them what they thought. We had to switch a few things around to get United Rentals on the car, but Sierra Pacific windows were the ones that were on the engine cover, and they said, sure, whatever it takes. They were very gracious too. So literally everybody did whatever it took. And then the damn car didn't start on the grid.
I was going to say, after all that.
Oh, God. So, it was very anticlimactic in terms of the actual race, which was kind of cool because that was the first time I was up in the pit box with Dennis, and I got to really observe and let everything sink in, and, without stressing too heavily. Although my heart rate went to about 180, I looked on my Fitbit after when the damn car wouldn't start, like that. But Graham did a hell of a job, and what a great ambassador, and just an all-around great guy. And a few people made comments on social media, and I had to correct them because he is just a super individual, just a really, really great person. And anyway, we were very proud, and I was, very proud to have him in the car and representing our name. It was good stuff.
I mean, I think it's terrible that anyone who is a son of someone gets that label because of your dad and all that kind of thing. And it's
Yeah,
99% of the time, it's absolute rubbish, isn't it? It's
yeah.
absolute nonsense.
You know,
Yeah,
keyboard warriors, they just don't know. And I try not to get too involved in all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
Just try to keep it vanilla. But sometimes it's just like, no, that's just not correct.
yeah, yeah. Sometimes you kind of, you know, people need to be corrected because they sort of see something and jump to a conclusion, which is ridiculous. And all the stuff that you said that went on that year with Stefan and his wife and the sponsors and Honda and Chevy and everything else that came together to make it happen. Yeah, people
That's the
sit
world
there.
of auto racing. That's the perfect example of everybody working together for the greater good of the sport.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I mean, just on track, it was a shame he got caught up in the late accident with, was it Benjamin Pedersen, wasn't it? It was a real shame that it ended
Yeah,
that way, but
yeah, but I mean, he had made up a lap, and look, you learn every time you run there, right? I mean, you you always learn something new, and I think we got a lot out of that. And then if we jump ahead to 2024,
yeah, two cars.
what a moment that was
Yeah.
when Connor Daly took the lead.
Oh,
Um,
I love
Again,
Connor.
in
I
the
had him on last year. I love that guy. He's
Oh yeah,
great.
Connor's great. He's great. He's great for the sport. Um, we were sad that we didn't have him in 25, but Jack was certainly a great addition there, and it was great that Connor got a full-time ride. But I will tell you that again, I was in the pit stand, and when Connor took the lead, as loud as it was, with the headphones, I heard 350,000 local fans go absolutely crazy. I mean, the
Wow.
roar, it gives me goosebumps now.
Oh
That
wow.
was quite an experience. That was a memory. That was
Yeah.
very, very cool.
Yeah. I mean, I think
And
having
Connor's comment, he goes, feels pretty good to run up front.
yeah,
Yeah, no kidding. Sure does. Keep it up.
yeah,
And
keep
then
doing
top
it.
10 finish. Yeah. So
But
that was good. That was a good year. We actually had hoped to get a little bit better finish, but top 10, that was good.
yeah, it was. And what I liked about the story with Connor was something that aligns very nicely with what you do and what Cusick Motorsports all about. You know, getting people involved and that kind of a thing. With his sponsor, with
Okay.
Polka Dot for the year. I mean,
Yeah.
I said I'm not going to pretend to know all the ins and outs of what they do, but I get the
Well,
gist of it.
nobody does, I
No,
think.
that's
You
all
know,
right. Good.
no offense to Polka Dot. That was a big question. What do they do? And I tried to learn, but I never was quite sure.
No,
Something
there's a lot.
in Bitcoin chain, something blockchain,
Yeah,
whatever that is. Yeah, I'm far too old
blockchain,
to figure that stuff out.
internet
Yeah,
business, bringing them
something.
together and all that kind of stuff. I don't understand, but it was terrific that they got people to vote on, the driver and the livery and everything
Yeah,
else. It was
yeah,
just another extension of what you think motorsport should be all about, isn't it?
yeah. Everybody works really hard in the IndyCar paddock to bring partnerships and sponsorships. I'm not sure anybody works harder than Connor. That
Yeah.
guy. I mean, he really works hard to get his place, and
Oh, he does. Yeah.
he's a heck of a driver and a good person. I just wish him nothing but continued success. I
Yeah.
root for him just as hard as I root for our drivers.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And I'm waiting for the day that he gets a first win because goodness me, does he deserve it?
I agree.
Yeah. And I mean, he's another one like Graham who gets the because of your dad thing. And
Yeah,
um, I had Derek on here and he put me in touch with Connor, and that's why Connor came on.
yeah.
And everyone thinks that Derek's involved and Derek who's public speaking, who does money and all that kind of stuff. Connor does pretty much all of it off his own back, doesn't he?
I can tell
And
you with impunity that Connor does it on his own.
yeah,
There's other connections there, and he just won't have it. He just goes out and does his own thing. I mean, yeah, I have tremendous respect for him.
yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, he's just a good guy, and he's just he comes across as just being a fan. Some people come across as being a bit, you can see they're a racing driver first, but with Connor, he's just a fan and a guy who goes racing. That he just comes across brilliantly.
Well, you saw his reaction and all of the fellow drivers' reactions when he podiumed in, I think it was Iowa, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Last year. You
Awesome.
know, they all the drivers came over and were patting him on the back and hugging him. I mean, that's the kind of guy he is. So
Yeah,
I think that speaks volumes.
absolutely right. And not
Yeah.
to stir anything up, but I think it's only Santino. They don't quite get on, do they? But we'll leave that.
Well, you're going to have some of that. Here's a little known fact too. We actually had a little minor sponsorship on Connor's car last year, 2025.
Okay.
Yeah, Forge Line Wheels, Steve Shart and his group.
Oh,
Yeah, it wasn't much, but it was a little help, and you know, so we had a little bit of that.
yeah. Oh, that's cool. I like
Yeah,
that. I sort of do like that. I like that. Just and the chap in the other car from 2024. I mean, obviously, I'm completely neutral here, but with my hard compound hat off, and as a fan, I've always been a fan of Ryan Hunter Ray. I just like the way he goes about it, and I like that famous livery that he ran with Andretti that everyone knows, the famous color scheme. Everyone likes that one. And I just like the way he went racing. I saw he won the 500 and everything else like that. He comes across as a really stand-up guy as well.
yeah, fantastic.
Really, and it must have been great to get him on board in the 2-car entry.
I love Ryan. I mean, he is just a great guy.
Yeah,
He's a smart race car guy. He knows his stuff. He is definitely additive to the team. Shares his information. He and Jack got on really, really well. But I like Ryan a lot, and I'm hoping we can do some stuff together going forward.
yeah, that'd be good to see. I'd be happy with that. And on the back of this little interview, he's actually given me a follow back on Twitter. So Ryan, if you are watching, thanks very much. And if you want to come on for a chat, you're very welcome. Just quickly, I mean, obviously the race, it was a bit disappointing for Ryan though, with what happened on the backstretch with Scott Dixon.
Or yeah,
A rare error, I think, from Scott. He moved across, maybe didn't know Ryan was there, but what a save to keep that car. That was ridiculous. How did he do
I
that?
don't know. It's funny. I haven't talked to him a lot about that. But yeah, how he did that in the grass and going 220 miles an hour. I should ask him. I will ask him. I'd love to know.
Yeah,
I'm not sure he knows because that was pretty amazing.
yeah. I mean, obviously, sadly, the car had to be retired due to the damage, but to keep the car
Yeah.
out the wall and end up facing the
Oh,
right
yeah.
way, and
That could have been bad.
it could have been. Yeah, it was very close to being very bad. But yeah, if I ever get the chance to talk to him, I'll be asking him as well because it was unbelievable. But yeah, real shame. But it was great though with Connor with what he did in the race. As you said, he was
Yeah.
running off strategy, ran up in the lead, and there was hopes for something very big. But top 10 in the Indy 500 in what your 4th running of it with the hometown hero. Once the dust had settled on it, you must have been pretty proud of that.
Very.
Yeah. It's fantastic. Great. So now I very quickly want to come, looking at the time, very quick. I do want to come to 2025 because real bittersweet stuff. Anyone who was a neutral, I was roaring for you. Because I think, no disrespect, but no one would have expected Ryan really. I mean, he wouldn't have been many people's first choice to win the race. With the greatest respect, I mean, people would
Not even in the primary car, let alone what that car would look like 48 hours before we raced it.
Well, yeah, because there was it was on fire, wasn't it? Essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, what happened there?
Just a little $4 part in the fuel cell.
That's always the way.
Yeah, it leaked fuel, and that was that. Burned up the wiring harness and got into the tub a little bit, and yeah, just stupid IndyCar bad luck that happens, right?
Yeah.
So hats off to the crew. So this is a part-time crew that rebuilt the backup car. Had an electric motor in it, was used for pit practice.
Oh, right.
So they brought that tub Friday afternoon, stayed up until 2 a.m. rebuilding it, fired it up at 8 a.m. and took it out for 3 install laps. We couldn't cross the start finish line, so it was pit in, pit out, just to make sure nothing was leaking. And the damn thing led the race for 48 laps.
Oh,
So
I mean,
would it have been a story? Oh, I can't even imagine. It was, look, for us, it was a story anyway, but wow, if we'd have won that thing, and I think that, you know, you never know, but we were certainly in a good position. Now that I have talked to Ryan about that, and Ryan said to me yesterday, if they'd have got me in and out of the pits with 2 cars in between us, I'd have won the race. He said they'd have never
wow.
got around me. Interesting, right? So what can I say? I just, yeah.
It's
I
one of
didn't,
those. I mean, there's always that kind of what if, but it must have been. I mean, again, looking back at what happened, because there was a slight miscalculation with the fuel, from what I can gather, wasn't there? Just by a lap or so.
yeah, it was in the
Tenths
fuel
of a
pickup.
litre.
Yeah. The fuel pickup that we were running is a little bit different than what some of the other teams were running. And so it led to the miscalculation, but
Wow.
yeah, I mean,
Oh,
talk about somebody being absolutely gutted. I walked
oh
into
man.
the garage as Ryan walked in, and wow, I felt yeah, I was crushed for him. I mean, it was just, you can imagine. That was
Yeah.
yeah, that was pretty bad. You know, and all those guys, obviously, they work so hard, and you know, you're 30 laps away. Again, you know, you never know what the outcome's going to be, and obviously Alex came back and won it, but we probably had as good a shot as anybody.
Absolutely right. Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
so yeah, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
not sure I'm ever going to get over that one, to be
No.
honest with
And
you.
there was only
Um,
2 times in that race that I actually stood up and shouted no. One was when Mr. Sato locked up, because Taku's been
yeah,
on here, and that would have been cool. I'm a big fan of
yeah,
Taku, but
yeah,
it was when it happened with Ryan. It was like, oh no, I was there was at least one person on this side of the pond that was gutted for you. I
yeah.
genuinely was, but
We
but
appreciate it.
but in a
But like I
rebuilt
said, hell of a run, hell of a
yeah.
run.
I mean,
Proud of what we accomplished.
in a rebuilt car on a one-off race, to lead 48 laps and just to have that little one lap, it was
Yeah,
incredible. And Ken Anderson has said on YouTube, he says, incredible effort by the team. Absolutely right. He said it's all about passion. Yes, absolutely right.
yeah. Well, we were about 900 feet short on fuel. How's that?
Oh wow, when you
And
put it in those
then it
terms.
paper locked and wouldn't fire.
Oh wow.
Ugh.
Wow.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it's what it
Hope,
is. Just
hopefully we can
another
go again.
memory.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something to be remembered for sure. But Mark, yeah, Mark Vukovic actually said there was never a dull moment in 23, and he said there's never a dull moment in 25 either. And also we got William Morgan on YouTube. He's hello, William. He said Ryan's a true pro, getting that rebuilt car on track Saturday morning and ripping it on the installs, which you alluded to, which is fantastic. And Ken has said Connor is the hardest working driver in the series. Actually, lots of love for the drivers and what you guys do as well.
So I got to give a shout out. William, aka Billy Morgan, um, is one of the hardest working guys I've ever seen. That's the guy that pretty much does everything in Cusick Motorsports, from taking care of the sponsors to selling the sponsorships.
Wow.
Yeah, Billy's an amazing guy. I'll tell you. I can't say enough good things about him.
Yeah.
And he does it all for very little, honestly, except for his passion for the sport. So, Billy, if you're still on, thank you, buddy. You're the best.
Fantastic. I mean, his comment came in 3 minutes ago, so I'm sure he's still on. But no, that's one of those guys that makes stuff happen, which is brilliant.
He makes it happen.
Yeah, love to hear that. Absolutely love to hear that, which is great. Really great. And obviously, I was going to ask if you're back next year. Obviously, you can't let anything out of the bag, but
Well, no, I would tell you that we have every intention of being back.
Great stuff.
We just don't know where yet, but we have got several different options. Some really good ones. Nothing from Dennis and his crew yet. The last word I got a week ago was they can't commit to anything yet. They're working on some things themselves, and obviously I wish them the best of luck. But you know, if there's an opportunity there, we'll certainly take a look at it.
Fingers crossed. I certainly hope you can be back again
Oh,
next year,
we'll be back somewhere.
especially after what happened at the 500 this year. Yes, just we need those last 30 laps to go slightly different. That'll be great next year. I've just seen that Mr. Morgan, Billy, if I can call you that, he said he's now blushing. He said I'm blushing now.
Yeah, yeah. As much as Billy ever blushes, let me tell you.
Nah, mission accomplished. No, good
Yeah,
stuff.
good.
Just quickly, I did see something recently. There was talk of perhaps working alongside a team, maybe going down the Indy Next route, the old Indy Lights.
Yeah.
That'd be a
Yeah.
great thing to see, because obviously Indy Next is a terrific stepping stone into IndyCar and everything. We've seen that, and that'd be a cool thing to get involved with, wouldn't it?
Yeah, 100%. You know, while we're kind of just sitting on the fence a little bit, running more IndyCar races, waiting to see what a couple of teams do, and also wait until 2028 when the new equipment comes out.
Yeah,
It doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense for us to invest in equipment now with that change coming.
yeah. Even though it keeps getting delayed, doesn't it?
It does keep getting kicked down the road, and look, if we knew now or then what we know now, we probably would have done something much earlier. But yeah, as you know, originally it was 2025, and then 6, and now 8. So we'll see. But Indy Next makes sense for us. I've always liked the development stuff, and obviously for for basically for the same budget for the Indy 500, you can run a full season of Next.
Right. Wow.
We have talked, and we are in very serious negotiations with the team now. We're looking to raise some budget for that and see kind of what happens, but I think there'll be a lot more clarity after this weekend up at Laguna Seca.
Oh, great stuff. Well,
Yeah.
hopefully some positive news on that.
Yeah.
No, that'd
Yeah,
be
I
great.
think it will be. I mean, the desire's there. Again, it's just trying to make the budget work. It's a little harder for Next to bring sponsors on board than
Yeah.
obviously for the 500.
Yeah. No, cool. Well, hopefully both. You never know if it all comes together.
Yeah, that's our goal right now.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great. I would obviously wish everyone involved all the best with that, and
Yeah,
hopefully it can come
no, I
together.
appreciate it. Yeah, we'll keep everybody up to date on that as it progresses. But now's kind of the time. You have to start planning now for 2026.
Yeah. Fantastic. Absolutely. It all takes time, doesn't it? People don't understand how long it takes. You've got people asking in the British touring cars this year. They're saying, "Oh, any news for next year?" It's like, no, not at the moment. It takes
No.
time.
It does.
Just very quickly, just to step back quickly back to 2022. You dip your toes in the world of IMSA and GT and stuff with Stefan and with excuse me, and with Porsche and Team Hardpoint and all that. That was a busy year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Doing all that with like Daytona and Sebring and stuff, running Stefan in the endurance rounds, wasn't it?
Yep.
That was
fun. I mean, I enjoyed that very much. We've just kind of been so focused on IndyCar that we haven't really thought too much about IMSA. Although I run with the IMSA guys almost every day out at Thermal. They're always out there practicing. GMG Racing is the building right across from mine. James Safranis and Kyle Washington. In fact, Kyle's 992 Porsche Cup car was originally mine. I sold it to him.
all right.
Yeah.
Cool.
But
Love that.
I've got a 991.2 that I prefer to drive.
Oh, nice.
And that car's a lot of fun. That thing is a wild Bronco. But I like the IMSA stuff. I like the IMSA stuff a lot. But again, the focus has been on IndyCar and what we're doing there, and so that's where the budget's been. But not ruling out future IMSA stuff at all.
Yeah, fantastic. I'd certainly, that'd be a cool thing to see because, I mean, it doesn't get the coverage over here that I think it should because obviously it's a different audience.
I mean, really some fantastic races.
That's terrific. I love it.
Kind of eyeballing that McLaren spec series. That's kind of a cool deal. And with my association with with Mike and McLaren, and that's something we might be looking at. We know a team that's running it, and yeah, so we kind of taking a look at that. Just depends. We'll see.
Yeah. No, fingers crossed again for that as well. I mean, I saw that you took, was it just to go back to that year? Was it in was it Daytona 10th out of 24 in class, and then Sebring was it 8th in class? So good stuff, good strong running after a long
Yeah.
race. It's always nice to get that, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's fun, and you can watch that it on 2 different days because get a little sleep in between, wake up and see where you're at.
It doesn't sound too bad if you can get the sleep, I suppose.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Good stuff. Okay, just a couple of general bits, a couple of questions, and then some fun bits just to wind down because I know you're in the middle of the day there. IndyCar at Thermal. I mean, it's people. It's kind of. I think it's divided opinion. I mean, I'm all for going to new circuits and trying stuff out and seeing things like that. And obviously, it's IndyCar at Thermal was a different. Obviously, it was non-points first time. Then it was kind of for a different audience, shall we say, at Thermal. But I mean, I'd like to see it stick around for a bit. I can't see why it shouldn't. Obviously, you're a bit more inside the ropes at Thermal. Any chance of it sticking around? Do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. It's unfortunate that people don't really understand. I mean, people that were there, they get it. And of course, being my home course and all, for me, just a ton of fun to introduce people to it all and show them around and all that. I mean, I really don't understand the bad rap about, oh, it's a rich person's place, not because guess what? We're all just fans there too. I mean,
Yep.
look, are we fortunate enough to afford to be there? Yeah, I feel very fortunate about that. But I will tell you that to a person, every single member at Thermal was welcoming to every single person that showed up for that race.
Brilliant.
And they were all standing on the pit wall watching or, wherever and having fun and enjoying it. And I just feel bad that it got that kind of bad rap from the keyboard warriors because it's not that at all.
Yeah.
It's not that at all. In terms of will it come back? Right now, I think the talk behind the scenes is maybe for spring practice again.
Okay.
That'd be cool. I think a lot of it just depends on IndyCar and Tim and Tawana Rogers, who own the Thermal Club, if they can, make an agreement. It's expensive. The Rogers family put up several $1 million to host that.
Wow.
And with limited attendance being 5,000 people, it was probably not even a break even for them. So they invested in it, and I just think maybe it's not the perfect venue in terms of what the fans might be thinking, but it was good racing. It's a good track, and I'd love to have Indy back.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, I'd like to give it a bit more of a crack there. And as you say, I mean, just because people have got a few more pound, well, a few more dollar notes, I suppose, for you guys, in their pocket, doesn't make them any less of a fan. So
No.
and I'm completely with you. It's the people that don't know.
There's no arrogance there. You would not know if somebody had 2 nickels to rub together to make a dime. I mean, it's just not that way. We're just out there running our cars, having a great time, socializing, and enjoying the sport. So anyway, I kind of always extend an open invitation to all the haters. Come on out. You can be my guest.
Yeah.
See what you think about it.
I'm sure they'll change the tune if they did that, wouldn't they?
Some have.
And
some have actually taken me up on it, and we've become good friends after battling on the internet.
Nice one.
Yeah. Like I said, at the end of the day, I just want to make race fans. Certainly don't want to make enemies with anybody.
No, absolutely right. That's what motorsport should be about across the board. Just so we've got Mark Vukovic and Ken Anderson still on YouTube. Hello, chaps. Mark has said the level of hospitality at Thermal was second to none, and he doesn't get the bad the bad reputation either. And Ken has said Thermal spectacular. He didn't fill out a place at all. Welcome with open arms. It was only the internet trolls that ruined it, and we don't need to listen to them. So
Nope.
happy days. We're all friends. We're all good.
That's right.
No, great stuff. Okay, just a couple of questions that I did see come in. Simon Steele. Hello, Simon. Chap from not just down the road from me. British drivers, you mentioned about Stefan and Jack Harvey. To you, what are their qualities? Is his question.
Oh gosh, I mean,
they have many.
Yes, obviously driving talent.
Yeah. And I think apart from Jack being far too good looking,
Jack, oh boy, let me tell you, yeah.
Goodness me.
Jack's, they've actually both got a lot of fans. They're charming guys. They're fan favorites. They're good people. They work hard at their craft, and they're just wonderful individuals. I love them both. I'm gonna have dinner with Jack. I think Saturday night up in Laguna Seca. But that'll tell you, I've known the man for 2 weeks. So the first thing that Jack did when he signed on with DRR, he called me up and introduced himself and thanked me for being a part of the team. I mean, I don't think a lot of pro athletes do that.
No.
So, that just speaks to who he is. Just a great guy. His mom and his dad were awesome. Really got to enjoy them. Same with Stefan. Got to meet both of them. Just good families and good people.
Yeah, which is great. And I've actually got I'm actually in contact with one of Jack's friends, and he said he was going to have a word to Jack for me. So I'll have to chase him on that. He's a nice
guy. To do that as well.
Oh, fantastic! Yes, get Jack on.
Yeah.
Obviously we'll have to blur out his face when he's next to mine because I can't have that. Handsome devil.
Yeah. He is a handsome guy.
Yeah, no, good stuff. Got one from our friend KB on YouTube. I think he knows the answer to this, but this is always a good question. Always a tricky one, I suppose. Is running / owning IndyCar teams a money pit, or can you turn a profit?
Well, yeah, that old joke. If you want to make $1 million, start with 3. Our goal is to break even. We want to put everything we can back into the race program. Our contributions to DRR were such that they were able to do more wind tunnel testing, more damper testing and development, things of that nature. So for us, we're not looking to make a profit. We're looking, we dump everything back in. I mean, it's cost me considerable money over the 5 years, but a lot of that was the first 2 or 3 while we were getting established. I think it probably cost me $100,000 last year of my personal money. But it was worth every penny of it because we just get so much enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
And some of that, full disclosure, was we donate a couple of experiences to a local charity out here where they auction it off and raise money. And I'm proud to say that we raised almost $100,000 for charity by auctioning off 2 all-in experiences for 2 people each. So 4 people we brought out to the race. So you can offset the expense on the tax bill, I guess. But you can break even. I don't know. At our level, you're not making any money. But we're not setting out to do that. We should probably just be a 501(c)(3) non-profit charity at some point. But we're all about putting it back into the racing,
which is great. And some things are bigger than the almighty dollar. And that's fantastic to to have raised all that money for charity as well.
Yeah.
So fantastic, love that.
Yeah, it's
great stuff. Going to come on to some just some fun questions to wind down with. I need to say hello to Mia Rowe on Facebook as well. She has said everyone at Thermal was very welcoming and there's nothing like it, which is
Mia. Good to see you.
Good to hear the love.
Another part of Cusick Motorsports that I should mention. Mia does all of our social media and publicity and things like that. Terrific. She's a student at yeah, oh gosh, I'm going to screw this. I think University of Indiana, right, Mia? But she runs like their motorsports program there, and she's just terrific. I met her. Her father is another elite IndyCar member, Jamie Rowe, another great guy. And Mia's just been unbelievably fantastic. So helpful to the program.
Brilliant. Love to hear that. And she is in the role for the future in motorsport. Absolutely, because the whole social media.
Yeah, no, you're gonna know her name. She's gonna do big things in motorsports.
Oh, I love that. I think fantastic. I'm absolutely sure she will. And thank you for tuning in, Mia. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. So yeah, that's great. Right. Okay. Always try and do some little fun questions before we wind down and let you get on with your day, and all the Brits can have a hot drink and go to bed. I ask these questions to most people that come on. Obviously, did you have a favorite driver when you were a young motorsport fan back in the day?
Oh boy. Yes, absolutely. How far back do you want to go with that?
Oh, as far as you like. As far as you like. However you feel comfortable.
So I think, I was a Wally Dallenbach fan way back when.
Oh, nice.
I was a Danny Sullivan fan, Rick Mears fan.
Yeah.
The Unsers, the Andretti's.
Those two are my guys, Danny Sullivan and Rick Mears. I met Danny.
I still see Danny Sullivan once in a while. I mean, I liked Lone Star JR, Johnny Rutherford. Always enjoyed watching him race. I mean, there is so many great racers. AJ Foyt, of course. Parnelli Jones. I could go on and on. Yeah. So many iconic racers. Oh my goodness. Lloyd Ruby, used to root for him out at Ontario Motor Speedway when we went out there.
Yeah. Because it was Lloyd Ruby who had the issue in the pits when Mario won, of course, wasn't it? In the fuel line and all that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, so many great memories over the years.
Yeah, fantastic. Just some of those names. Wow, they're making me smile. Great stuff. Okay, this is an interesting one. Outside the guys that you've had in your cars at 500, is there anyone you particularly admire in motorsport in general, whether it be IndyCar or anything else right now as a driver? Is there anyone who you think? I mean, obviously you mentioned Alex, but.
Oh yeah, I mean, I definitely have my favorites, for sure. I'm really not much of an F1 guy, but I would say, in IndyCar, I love Pato. I think he's just fantastic. I've gotten to know him personally, and he's just a really good person.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'd have to think about that. I have some young kids that I know through Thermal that I really enjoy watching race. Brady Golan is one. He's an up and comer. He's running USF Pro right now, and he's a really good kid. So I enjoy watching him and following his career. But yeah, not a lot of focus really for me on drivers in particular. I'm more of a focusing on fans and things of that nature, I think. But honestly, my hat's off to anybody that puts the gloves and the helmet on and climbs behind the wheel and goes and makes a day of it. And I enjoy watching every kind of racing from go-karts to NASCAR to sprint cars. I mean, whatever it is, I really enjoy it. So
yeah,
that'd be my answer, I guess. Everybody's my favorite. My hat's off to all of them because I know what it takes and I know what's involved.
Yeah. See, that's what the answer to that question should be. That's great. Yeah. And just while we're talking IndyCar and NASCAR, Kyle Larson. Wow.
Kyle's
the two.
Yeah, he's fun to watch. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's something else. Okay, very good. Two quick questions have come in very quickly. One from Keith Mail. This is a Brit talking about the Indy 500, if ever there was one. Keith, did you watch the '66 Indy 500, and do you have a view on the winner? Was it Hill or Clark? Graham Hill or Jim Clark? That's controversial, isn't it? All those years ago.
That was controversial. Jimmy Clark, I was always a huge fan.
Yeah.
So I guess I used to watch F1 back in the day, obviously.
Yeah.
I was sad to see the front engine roadsters go, and but when I go to the museum and I look at that Lotus, it just brings back a lot of great memories, and that was really something. Those days were so much fun. All the different chassis and engines and innovations and drivers and yeah, '66. I did watch it. It was obviously controversial, but yeah, I would say I was a Jimmy Clark fan.
Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll leave it at that one.
Yeah, British racing green, man.
Absolutely, proper color, proper racing color.
Yeah, yeah. All those superstitious Americans, right?
Yeah. I am biased, of course, but yeah.
Yeah. No, I actually one of my quarter midgets was British racing green.
Oh, nice. Oh,
yeah.
Cool. That must be cool. Yeah. Ken Anderson has said Jim Clark. Yeah, he's with you on that. One more question that did come in. This feels like a loaded question from a chap called Tim Neiman, who I'm sure you know. Yes, there we go. It says, ask Don if he had an eventful drive to IMS on the morning of 2022. Oh my, I'm intrigued.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll try to keep it a short answer. But another guy I got to do a shout out to is Tim. I didn't know he was on. Tim is one of the key players at Cusick Motorsports at the 500. He kind of keeps all the cats herded together and really takes care of a lot of the logistical stuff on those 2 weeks and our two-seater rides and all that. But yeah, so the story is that we had a police escort, and that police escorted bus. I was in a chase car. I followed it to a parking lot somewhere off-site where they were going to meet everybody, and then it was delayed. And me being me, didn't want to be delayed. I wanted to be at the track. I wanted to be there as early as possible. So I set off in the chase car, not knowing where the hell I was going, with no police escort. Ultimately ran across the police themselves, talked my way through the police lines, ended up fairly close to the track, but not knowing what the heck I was going to do. And here comes this police escort, but the follow officer was quite a ways back. So I literally just snuck in line, act like I belonged there, and went in with them and got in. But oh man, I would never want to repeat that one ever again. Wow. I was very lucky I didn't miss the entire race and end up in jail for that one. I believe that's what Tim's referring to, was that particular adventure. Wow. My wife wanted to murder me. She absolutely wanted to get out of the car and not have any part of it, but it all worked out. So yeah.
No harm done, but yeah. No harm done, but perhaps not the ideal prep for the race.
Probably not. Probably was not a great maneuver.
No, never mind. Oh, we'll call it a one-off.
Yes, it was a one-off for sure.
Yeah, great stuff. One question. I mean, obviously we talked about Indy next. I mean, in an ideal world, is there any series that you'd like to maybe move into as well? Anything like NASCAR, anything like, you said you're a fan of most things. Is there anything you might want to have a look at, if possible?
Probably not NASCAR. I mean, that's a tough one to break into with the charter system. Good for them, honestly. They've created value there, I think.
Yeah.
I have sent a few sponsors over to our friends at Hendrick that want to be involved in NASCAR. I don't really see that one. I think it'll be open wheel for us, and perhaps the sports car stuff too.
Yeah.
That just seems more like a better fit for what we're doing.
Yeah. I think it's Well, it's all gone well so far. So hopefully, yeah, that will probably
Yeah, so far so good.
hopefully continue. And just quickly, actually, I think I know the answer to this, but when you moved to thermal, bought something different as a race car, did you ever think that it would take you to where it's taken you, the Indy 500, and working with these amazing people, having dealings with the Ray Halls and in that circle, all the people that you've met and who've come on board? I mean, you can't have imagined that it would have taken you where it's taken you, surely.
I mean, that thought never crossed my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, really up until the day I set foot on that high-low ground, it really never. And it's kind of surreal looking backwards, honestly. And I mean, my wife Carolyn and I talk about it, fairly frequently. Like, can you believe this? How cool is this?
Yeah.
The IndyCar family has been so welcoming to us, top to bottom. I mean, it's very unexpected, and we're very grateful for it, very appreciative of all of it. And like I think I said in the beginning, I've led a very blessed life, and I'm very appreciative for all of it. I take none of it for granted, and yeah, it's been wicked fun.
Fantastic. And hopefully there's a few more chapters to come.
I hope so. I'm going to be 69 on
Oh,
Sunday,
well, happy
so
birthday for Sunday.
I'm getting up there. Yeah, thank you. So obviously limited time as compared to some, but we're going to continue to do it as long as we can, and hopefully, Billy and the gang, the youngsters on my little team will want to carry it on, and so that's what we're building for. We're building for those guys, and I would love to be in a position to hand it off to them and let them continue it on long after I'm gone.
That would be probably the most rewarding bit. I think that would be absolutely terrific to see. And but in the slightly shorter term, we certainly hope that you're back at the 500 next year, and who knows, maybe in victory lane. You never know.
You never know. We've got some very interesting things kind of cooking right now, and I'll be very happy when whatever's going to happen happens and we can share it all. That's always a good day.
Yeah, absolutely right. And Mr. Morgan, Billy Morgan, has just said we've come too far to stop now. So there you go. I think
he's a good man. That Billy.
I think you're stuck with it.
I'm very happy.
Yeah, great stuff. I was to say, I mean, obviously, we wish you all the best with all the future endeavours, whether it be Indy Next or on sports cars or IndyCar, whatever it may be. And I think me and all the followers of the page who've tuned in, we'll all be cheering loudly if we do see you in victory lane at IMS one day.
I really appreciate that a lot. I appreciate the opportunity to be on the program, and it means a lot to us. Every chance we get to get our name out there and be in front of fans, it really helps. So thank you very much, and thank everybody that watched.
No, great stuff. And well, thank you for giving up your time. And I know you're busy, so thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it. And
a great pleasure.
As I say, thank you to everyone who's tuned in. All the comments, we haven't managed to get to all of them, but I hope we've covered everything. Guys, thank you everyone for tuning in. As always, appreciate your support. And of course, the biggest thanks to you, Don. Really, really appreciate it. And all the best for the future.
Thanks so much. My pleasure.
Great stuff, guys. Good night, good afternoon, wherever you are, and we'll see you.